Welcome to another Milepost of the V-Twin Life. We talk motorcycles powered by those V-Twins, why we enjoy it, what they mean to us, and just why we enjoy the open road. V-Twin Life is brought to you by CrashIncClothing.com, also known as Crash Inc. on the World Wide Web. Man, Brad has sold a lot of stuff. You want to get some merchandise, you want to get parts, you want to upgrade stuff on your bike. He is a dealer for a lot of great companies, so check out CrashIncClothing.com and see what they got for you. Now, we got Wild Ass. You want to add some comfort to your ass? Man, Wild Ass has got you covered. They've got something you like. Use that promo code DWoods. Get yourself free shipping and put that ass in comfort. Can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the world in LED lighting and LED technology. Man, these got some great stuff. You want to light up your life at nighttime? You want to be seen during the day? Hey, check out Custom Dynamics. Can't forget Lexan. These guys got some great comm units. I just got the new G16s. Man, you want to talk quality? These things are awesome. Loudspeakers, plus they got some air pumps, small ones you keep in your bike. They're ready to go. So check out Lexan. So now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. Yeah, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday here in the V-Twin Life as we're hitting milepost 141. We got an OG guy's been on here a few times. We got old Sparkz coming back for some good times, a hangout session and jam, as we can hear as he put it. I loved how he put it on the phone when he talked about, you know, the new piece of Milwaukee iron is you like upgraded from a Pinto to a Cadillac. I fucking love that. That was good.
Yeah, man. What was it? June? I went up to Michigan for my stepsister's wedding, and I was on the Dyna. I did a Saddle Sore 1000, but if I would have paid attention, I could have done. It was probably 110 more miles, and would have had a bum burner gold. But I think sleepiness, tiredness, if you would say, kicked in, and then I saw a lot of woodland critters on the side of the freeway with their eyes poking. So yeah, and then on the way back, coming back, I did the same thing, and I hit Little Rock, Arkansas, and I could hear the motor starting to let go. And I just prayed to get back in the state of Texas, because once I got back into Texas, I had people that could come get me.
I love old wild ass Craig. Yeah, asking about Arkansas. I was like, what? Arkansas? And it took me a second when bullshit with him, and I was like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, the old Dinah did good, man. She took a beating.
Oh, you abused it pretty well. I mean, but you know, it got you down the road to many places.
It did. You know, and she's not gone. She just needs a heart transplant. So it's coming down the road. We're gonna freshen up that motor and see if we can get another 75,000 miles out of it.
There you go. Hey, what's going on, Dylan? Thanks for hanging out tonight. I know he was a little upset when I didn't have anything going on last Sunday because we were still doing the holidays. He had to roast me a little bit. He got himself into routine, and I had to ruin his routine. But hey, I'm back.
Hey, he does it to Craig too when Craig forgets Wild Ass Wednesday or is late to Wild Ass Wednesday.
Oh no, the good ones you get, Dylan, is like being in the middle of a thing, and all of a sudden I'll notice. I always try to put my phone on vibrate, like there we go, and I'll hear it go off, and it'll be Dylan. I just wanted to see you look at your phone, and look away from the screen. You dick. It's comical. I love it, man. Dylan's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah,
Misty, you're super cool.
Hey, great group of people. Got to hang out with them a couple times. Once was for Monster Day at Gavin's school, and just a lot of laughs when you're with them.
Oh, for sure. There's always some little game going on. You got to watch yourself around Dylan. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. And right now, me and Misty we're battling for the winningest Wild Ass Wednesdays. Right now, I think I'm in the lead, if I remember right from this past week's Wednesday. So
Nice. I've got one of them. It's pretty cool too. The little things that Craig puts in there. It's a little personal note that he throws in the boxes, and just it's really cool what he does. And really
oh yeah,
supports everybody, and just it gives you a little bit of uplift. It's pretty dang cool.
and it's so easy to enter to win. All you got to do is share the Wild Ass
Yeah.
Wednesdays and make sure the post is public.
Yep. It is pretty cool. Love those peoples.
Oh
Him and
yes,
Renee are super cool. I mean, I know Amy and I, when we got the opportunity to work for him in Sturgis, and man, it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it.
oh yeah. You know, first time I met Craig was same time I first met you at the start of the Hoka Hay. And I already had my Wild Ass. I had already purchased one, and I thought I had it dialed in right. And he took time out of selling Wild Ass seat cushions and came out there and helped me dial it in a little better. And man, what a difference! Uh,
I agree. It's like Amy and I thought we were pretty familiar with the product, and then you go work with him and Renee and Callie, and you'll quickly get an education. It's like I thought I understood this. It's like, wow.
you are wrong. You think
Yeah.
you understand?
Even after going through their training class they had, and then you work with them, and boy, you get an education. But man, it's super cool because you learn a lot, and especially when it's a product that your ass is in a lot, and it's all about being comfortable.
Yep. But yeah, that was the first thing I did to the new bike. Once I got it, we switched the Wild Ass seat cushion from the Dyna to the Ultra Limited. So, yeah, that was the first. That is a must on all motorcycles.
From the Pinto to the Cadillac.
Hey, that's it.
How you liking it?
I like it. It's a different ride. I've been riding that Dyna for so long, and it's such a light bike. Even when I had it loaded down, but learning that bigger bike now, as the guys at the dealership, joke, they were like, "Well, I'm glad you finally got a big boy bagger instead of that little boy bagger." I said, "Look, man, my little boy bagger has more miles on it than your big boy bagger." And they're like, "Yeah, whatever." But dude, it handles different. I have to be like quick stopping it. I have to pay attention more. I have had to pick it up a couple times. Quick stopping it, not ready for the weight, but so much more comfortable, more room. I had the Dyna purpose built for me. It was built for me to be comfortable. But this one, it's kind of already there for the most part. And then just all the storage room. I can fit in one saddlebag on the Ultra Limited what I fit in jam-packed in two saddlebags on the Dyna, on that switchback.
Yeah, because I was just say the switchback with the mini bags, like I said, the mini bagger. But it's a great platform for somebody getting into it, trying to see, hey, do I want to go the touring route, or what do I want? It's a great in between bike for somebody to figure out, hey, which direction do I want to go? And tell you what, you definitely put it through its paces to prove that I can tour and go all over the place.
Hey, I can. It did its job. The options for upgrading to make it a better touring model was a little scarce, but being a welder gave me the ability to kind of make stuff to work on my own, and figure it out, and just constantly perfect the craft with it, and figure out what works, what doesn't. But the new bike, I do like it a lot better. A lot less fuel stops on long trips.
Yeah.
The Dyna had a 4.2. I want to say 4.2 gallon tank, and this one's got the, what is it? The 6? I think it's a 6 gallon tank.
Yeah, because what was it? Was it 08 they went to the 6 gallon tank? Because I got the 5 on mine because I got the 04. But we had to see Tom Ounces, talk about your clutch learning experience. I feel there's a good story there, and kind of stuff I like to share and hear.
So on the Ultra Limited, it's a hydraulic clutch. On the Dyna, it's a cable clutch. And so on the cable clutch, there's a lot of adjustment, and we had that one dialed in just perfect for me. And then I go to a hydraulic clutch, and I'm like, at first I was like, all right, it's working. I went on a trip. I went down to San Antonio for Gavin's birthday, and I got caught in San Antonio traffic. And the next morning I get up and I'm like, man, this clutch feels loose. Like I'm losing my clutch. So I called my local shop, All Makes Cycle Repair. I called the Bearded Wonder, as we call them. And I said, hey man, can I bring it in and have you look at the clutch? He was like, yeah. So they bled the clutch, took it on a ride, heated, got it warm, checked everything. He was like, hey man, there ain't nothing wrong with the clutch. I think you're just not used to a hydraulic clutch. So, it's kind of one of those, well, you just made me feel dumb because there's nothing wrong with the clutch. I just had you look at it.
Yeah, it's either, clutch is pulled in or it's engaged. There's really not much slippage there on the hydraulic.
But
it's in or it's out.
Yep. But other than that, everything else is pretty simple to learn. But getting used to a hydraulic clutch compared to that cable clutch was a little different. But I think we got it figured out now.
Now, which engine? Do you got the 110?
No, it's a 103.
The 103? Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's a 103, and it's stock minus the Vance and Hines slip-ons. And the only reason the Vance and Hines are on there is because that's what came on it.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with them.
No, it sounds good. And everybody jokes, everybody laughs at the color. They're like, "Oh, that's old man color." It's a brown pearl and it's two-tone sand pearl on top and then a brown pearl on the bottom. Looks almost like a root beer float. But
it goes A to B to Z and back to C and rolls down the road. I don't buy a bike to keep the miles low on it for resale value. I buy a bike to ride it and get out. So I know, it eventually get decked out Mile Monster stickers. So it can be a rolling billboard. But yeah, I'm loving the new bike, all the extra room. Next thing I think I'm going to do is the suspension, because stock sucks. Yeah, that it does. And you think it's good until you get something upgraded, even a little bit. It's like, holy cow, this is so much better.
Exactly. And so we're looking at that right now, shopping, haven't figured out which ones I'm going to go with yet.
I went middle of the road. I mean, I would have loved to. There's some other brands that I really wanted, but it was not in my bank account, and I went with Progressive, and it's not bad, especially the front end with the Progressive forks.
Yeah,
because I put all the springs and everything, and had Brad Columbus at Crash Inc. redid the forks, and I went down there last year, I think it was, and yeah, we did the swapped out. Just he had a set on there they're already built, so we pulled mine off, put those on, and that made a big difference. You didn't get that nose diving, especially in cornering. You could come into the corners a lot hotter, and it just grab.
Yeah,
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, But suspension, like I really don't need to do a lot. I'm probably gonna put a little bit taller bars on there. Suspension, and then probably lights. It'd be the only other thing I add to it, really.
Yeah, but especially, yeah, lights are huge. God, especially, I mean, well, both of us, when you get into the distance riding and, you're riding at those hours of darkness, being able to see is critical. But in the other aspect, you want to run them daytime, people see them, you get their attention. And, to me, it's a good safety factor. You're
Yeah.
getting noticed, you're more visible. Sure, you might piss people off because you're blinding them even in the daylight, but I don't care.
But they see you. So,
Yep, exactly.
but uh, but yeah, other than that, there's really not a lot that needs to be done to it. Um, I
CH2
got my
Travelers,
golf.
suspension technology, just saying. I haven't heard of them, but I know Russ Wernemont. I've got some friends who really love their product. I mean, Russ Wernemont, he started with Baja Racing back in the years of Ivan Ironman Stewart. And now he does, cars, plus he got into doing motorcycles. And like Two Wheels to Survive, Michael Nielsen, they're absolutely phenomenal. He fucking loves them. He's now got the front and rear, but I mean, there's so many brands, and it's hard to. I mean, you can't say who's bad, who's not. I mean, everybody's got their opinions or stories, but I
Yeah,
think the biggest thing is, what's not everybody has the same pocketbook.
yeah, and like a lot of people will tell you, like what works for you might not work for me.
Right. True.
And that goes along with the suspension with the lights. If you look at it, like I think Hops running suspended by was it suspended by Shorty out of Dallas? Smarty.
Yeah. Smarty. Yeah, that's what's one
Smarty.
or the other.
Yeah, it's one of those. But he's running those, and Frosty's running those, and then I know Riot's running Legends. I know a lot of people that run Legends. I know a lot of people that run Olin's. People that run Fox. I mean, you can't go wrong.
No, I mean, and there's so many more companies in it now. It's just, yeah. Well, it fits for what you want, and give her a go.
What was the other one? Who was it that had? I want to say it was Nowoski. Is another one. I forget who was running that. I think it was. I can't remember who was running that one. But you can't go wrong because we all know stock sucks.
Yeah.
Unless you got Jason Setzer CVO money.
Sivo. Yeah. No, I love that dude.
Oh man, hey, him and Chase, man, seeing them interact together out at events and stuff was just awesome. And then the work they did on Gavin's documentary of the Texas tour, that was great. And getting to see everybody sneak in for that.
Hey, that was a lot of fun. Got to catch a lot of people, off guard.
Like I'm sitting there eating continental. I'm eating the breakfast at the hotel, and I look up and there's you and old Frankie Mountain, and I was like, wait, what? And then Loco showed up. Came down right after you guys, and then found out he got in at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he got in like an hour after we did, and I was trying to stay up because that was a straight cannonball one. When Frank called me, I think it was like a Tuesday. Hey, let's go to Texas on Thursday. I'm like, say what? And picked up old Bradley Thomas down in he's out of Bend, Oregon, and picked him up in Ontario, Oregon, and just rotated driving me. It was 34 hours down there for I think we're there 15-hour turnaround, ping, back on the road, going home. I dropped Frank off at like 2 a.m. in Yakima because he had to be to work at 6 a.m. that Monday morning. I dropped him off at 2 o'clock. And then I got home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. But it was super cool. I mean, it was such an awesome, epic adventure, and just to be part of that whole thing and see it in the theater.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing
to watch that documentary in theater, and then to turn around and watch it. I think I've watched it like 3 times, but I shared it with the guys at work and stuff. But to watch it on like a regular, just to watch it in the garage on the TV, compared to watching it in the theater with a bunch of bikers that are all there for the same reason, it hit a little different in the theater.
Well, the community support. I mean, I got introduced, met Gavin's principal from school, and the other kids who were there, and just everybody from within his community. It was so cool to be part of that. But like you're saying, I know we ended up coming home and had, this boys came over. My dad came down. We had a viewing party at my house and watched it again, and it was awesome. It's truly cool to see how all that came together and everything else. Oh man, got HD Traveler talking about Whataburger. Yeah, I do miss it. That shit's good. Actually, when I went to visit my daughter in Colorado Springs, there was one like 12 minutes from her house. So I did go there when I was in Colorado here a few months ago.
Yes, Whataburger is pretty good.
So you got Steampunk Edits. Want to know what you had to spend for your new ride?
So I got a great deal on it. It's a 2014 ultra limited. I think I got it for like 13,000. I paid $1 a mile for what was on the odometer when I bought it. Is what
That's
it worked out
impressive.
to. So I had a buddy of mine. He worked down there, and I called him. I knew he was a sales guy, so I called him and said, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for." I was like, "You already know my riding style, so see what you can find." And he sent me that one on Tuesday or Wednesday. Did all the paperwork online, and we were there when they opened Friday morning. It was the weekend of the Monster K in Lebanon, Kansas. And so I had already had the day off of work to go do the Monster K, but due to the Dinah dying and not being able to be with, like a crackhead when it comes to motorcycles, I got to have one. So like literally Friday morning, we got down there. As soon as they opened, we were out of the dealership by 11. So
that's not bad.
So, but he made sure everything was good. It was getting serviced and everything. So, yeah, I got a great deal on it. They had a bunch of I was really looking for a Pan America, but I couldn't find one in the price range. So I had to be a responsible adult and go for choice number 2, which was a limited. So
ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't mind a Pan American either.
They're fun little bikes. I got to test ride one. They're fun. I know just like with any automotive vehicle that comes out, you don't want to buy the first year because they're still working out all the bugs. But
yeah,
but they're still
very
good.
True.
Like it was great this year on the Hoka Hay. See so many Pan Americas finish.
Yeah.
So
it's just I think it's excuse me. With Harley bringing out Pan America, then trying to get into a market that is so well established by BMW. I mean, tried and true to adventure bikes. I mean, Honda's been there, with the Transalp, and now the Africa Twin, and Yamaha's been in it for a little while. But that's a market that is controlled by BMW.
Oh
And,
yeah.
they've proven that their
Uh,
bike is going to go places. So, you want to get into a market that you're going to really have to work and prove that you got a good product. And hey, I mean, yeah, like you said, the first year or two, there were some gremlins. I heard people talking about issues they were having, but it seems they've been, working all that out. And,
oh yeah.
people enjoying them, and they're starting to really get some miles racked up on them.
Competing with BMW and Triumph,
Well,
in
and
that
got
world,
through KTM in there. They've been in that for a while, especially like Dakar.
yeah. Um, it's tough to get into that world. And you'll get a lot of critics, but then you'll get the guys that, the long distance guys that are like, okay, well, BMW is a solid bike. They don't, it's not, like any bike, as long as you take care of it, it's not going to break down. But, you know, everybody, says Harleys break down all the time. But, if they do, we have a huge dealer network compared to other makes.
This is true.
And, now with the dealerships, dealerships are getting bought out by corporations. And so you're getting multiple dealerships in multiple states that are bought out by one corporation. So they're all in a network. And it's as simple as picking up a phone for a bike that's broke down and calling them and saying, "Hey, do you have this part?" "Yeah." "Well, I'm at this dealership." "Oh, that's our sister dealership. It'll be there tomorrow." Ask Riot. Matter of fact, a couple months ago, on his way back to New Jersey, he was on his way out. I guess he was headed back home, and
Yeah, there was something. I remember what you're talking about because he was at a dealer. It was like the same network or owned by the same parent group
yeah.
that is his home dealership.
No, it was Black Hills. He was same as Black Hills, because he was actually at my home dealership at Horny Toad. He got towed in that day. Well, he tried to get a tow truck, but the city he broke down in has one tow truck in the whole city. So, so they weren't really prepared for him. So he ended up renting a U-Haul truck and trailer and coming to the dealership. I ended up spending most of the day with him hanging out. But it was his stator and voltage regulator that went out.
Oh, I know all about that.
And
Been there, done that.
Yeah. And Horny Toad didn't have it, and he was like, "Well, hold on." He called Black Hills, and they were like, "Yeah, we got it. It'll be there by tomorrow morning by 9:30. And so sure enough, when they opened Saturday morning, the parts were there, and they got them on the road fairly quick. But it's just good having that network to where you can do stuff like that, especially for long distance riding, because we'll get hours from home and just be stuck.
Well, that's like in 22 when you and I met over at Black Hills Harley in Rapid City. My stator and regulator that would only had less than 4,000 miles on it died as I pull into fucking Black Hills, and hey, they happen to have the part, so I ended up spending the day there. Why, they worked me in. It's like, dude, we're full. I'm like, I'm 1,300 miles from home, and hey, shout out to them because they got it in and had it fixed by the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's some dealerships, you'll get great service from dealerships like that. Oh, you're 1,300 miles from home. All right, we got you. Hey, we'll pull somebody, we'll pull a local off the lift and he can come pick it up later in the afternoon, but we'll get you back on the road so you can get moving. But then you run into some dealerships like, no, we can't get you on there. And it's sad to say the old days of where dealerships would help the traveling biker, a lot of them are going away from it.
Yeah, that sucks.
But fortunately, I've been lucky enough that everybody's gotten me in. um, pretty quick. And especially if you go back and talk to one of the mechanics, like, look, dude, I'm 1,000 miles from home. All right, cool. I'll work through my lunch, get you back on the road. Sweet.
Yeah, and for me, it's like the only, knock on wood, that's the only time where I've had the bike in a shop was, when it happened there, because, a stator isn't something you can repair on the side of the road.
No.
Regulator, hey, that's one thing. I did that too on the side of the road, but yeah, you're not pulling the primary and getting in there, especially with that fucking compensator bolt, and then the torque specs on it are fucking ungodly. It's like 260 pounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So what's coming up with you for 25? Got any big rides?
Well, we got Monsters Over Mountains. This is going to be a pretty cool ride that I put together for this year. Going to try to, knock out some hero runs and whatnot, but I don't have a whole lot of stuff that's penciled in for sure besides, Monsters Over Mountains in July. We're going to be hitting Washington, Idaho, Montana. That's actually, I put together a pretty cool route. It's going to be a lot of fun, and a challenge. You're going to be seeing some there's probably got a 80-mile stretch of Highway 20, which is the most northern highway through Washington that I haven't been on. And so we're going to be hitting that this year, but be some fucking epic scenery. It's going to be a cool run.
Are you doing the Monster 79?
Yes. I'm week 3.
I think I'm week 9. I think I'm the last week. And
yeah, I signed up, got week 9, so I'm in for that. I think that was like the end of July, the week of the 26th.
Yeah.
So I'll put together a cool run for that one.
And then I want to try and make Craig Johnson's memorial ride, because they're doing the end of the Monster 79 party that Friday.
Oh, in Brainerd.
Yeah, and then they're doing Craig's memorial ride, and then it's also the anniversary of Wild Ass around that same time frame. So I guess they're having they're having a big street party and everything at the shop.
Yeah, the only other one that I do have penciled in, I think it's early May, is I've gone, last few years, the Break Your Butt In ride that the Fire and Iron Motorcycle Club out of Skagit County puts on, buddy Mikey McKeon. Oh, laugh. He puts that on, and dude, he puts on a great run up there through Skagit. I mean, every year is a different route. It's a solid group ride. They do pick different local charities to help raise money for. And last year they raised money for a youth soccer club to help out, but he puts on a great run, and it's always a lot of fun going up and hang with those guys and check out some scenery, because up through like Skagit Valley up in, up north by the Canadian border, it's a beautiful area up there to ride. It's still all farm country, and, you get through some of the foothills, the Cascades, and it's just a beautiful area. It's one of my favorite areas to run, and he always puts on a killer ride up there. So I always look forward to doing that. It's like he told me now, earlier, it's like, we're sharing the post about it. He's like, I said, man, I can't wait. I said, I didn't get an invite. He's like, I know, it's because you're expected. You don't get an invite anymore. I'm like, oh shit, we've elevated things.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Man, I love that dude.
Yeah, I love for the minute amount of time I've ridden up there in Oregon and Washington. Definitely great. What was it? 2023, my club's nationals was in Portland. And I ended up coming into Oregon and going on the south end of Oregon, coming up through Bend and riding up over Mount Hood.
That's a beautiful ride up over Hood's a great ride. I've done that a couple times, and that is a good ride. But I learned one time it can be 80, 90 degrees down there. Like I was in Clackamas the first time, and I was heading up there, just had jean or shirt and my vest on. Ran at some old dude at the gas station. Like, where are you heading? I saw I head up to Mount Hood. He's like, the weather can change up there. I'm like, it looks beautiful right now. And fuck, I got up there, it was like 40. I'm like, holy fuck. Wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, that was me because it was the last weekend in July, and coming through Wyoming and coming across 80. Like, it was beautiful, it was 80, 90. Coming up through Bend, it wasn't too bad. But then once I got to the top of Mount Hood, I was in a long sleeve shirt and jeans, and I was just like, okay. And there was no place to pull off to put my hoodie on that I had in my pack out. So I'm just like, I'm shivering. I felt like I was having a seizure on the bike, just so cold. Finally hit a pull off to where I could pull over and put the jacket on, and I was like, I think I put 2 hoodies on and my Carhartt jacket just to try.
Yeah, it can get freaking cold. Hey, I got to take a quick time out. 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah, couldn't take no longer. Had to pee. Got the best of me.
I hate when that happens.
Me too.
Man,
but yeah, like we're saying, man, Mount Hood that place can get you.
But it's an absolutely beautiful ride.
There's a cool place that I learned about. When you get up top, you got government camp.
Yep.
Little town up there, gas stop. Well, if you head from government camp, you go east a couple hundred yards, and there's a road to your right, takes you down to Lake Trillium. And there's a lake up on top of that mountain. If you get it right, if the lake's perfectly calm, I actually got some pictures where you got the mountain reflects in the lake, and as you're looking up at it, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. It was, coming in through, coming up Mount Hood, it was absolutely gorgeous. Even coming through the valley down there on the south end of Oregon, coming into Bend, man, just absolutely phenomenal scenery.
Yeah, down through Bend and Sisters and all that area, it is gorgeous down there. And yeah, I can't remember which highway it is. If you go from Bend, you go east towards John Day, and you got 395. That 395, whether you go north or south, is just got to take you through some absolutely amazing country. Eastern Oregon is just freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
God, it's a great ride.
And everybody's like, "Why'd you come in from the south end?" I said, I wanted to go to Bend, Oregon, to relive my childhood and go to Blockbuster.
the only one left.
The only one left. That was the whole reason. And on my long rides, I like to get up and get moving early. So I got there before it opened, and I really didn't want to stay and wait for them to open. So I got a picture, I got a picture of the bike in front. They had Boys in the Hood movie poster and Hook with Robin Williams movie posters in the window. So I got picture, grabbed a couple pictures, hopped on the bike, and kept it moving. And then coming out of Portland, I think I took the interstate out of Portland back out of Portland early in the morning. Just so I could, make up time on the way back so I could get back to work on time.
Yeah, that's the best way, early.
But I learned a valuable lesson coming home. I had the moisture wicking athletic shirts, and riding all day with just that on, the end of the sleeve kind of opened up, so it slid up my arm. So coming through the panhandle of Texas, it was 105, 106, no shade anywhere as I'm riding. By the time I got home, the top of my hands and my forearms were all blistered from sunburn.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson. It's one thing I need to do is wear the long sleeve shirt, especially when you're riding in that heat. I'm always a guy that's, just a normal t-shirt. Then I end up, a decent tan on the arm. But from my elbow up, I look like a fucking tomato.
Yeah, you got the trucker's tan, but you have it evened out on both arms.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be brutal. It's like I always tell myself, I have long sleeve shirts. I mean, I got, like the same one, the moisture wicking ones. You think I ever remember? Hell no.
Nope. But what was I about to say? Last year for Christmas, my wife got me the Sedici Aventura pants and jacket. So it's like the Climb Latitude jacket and pants. It's great. Half the price of the Climb.
Yeah.
Still works great. But it does not breathe very well when you have the waterproof liner in it. And riding in the heat with that waterproof liner in it, it was it'll dehydrate you quick.
Yeah, I got the new Joe Rocket this year, right? Well, the day before Monsters Over Mountains, I finally was time to retire my old Joe Rocket that I've had for like 25 years. I mean, it's sun bleached, but I got the new one, and it breathes well, and its waterproof ability is absolutely freaking amazing. Because the thing I like is it's got a double zipper, but the first one, really comes in on the left side of your chest. You zip it up, and then the flap comes over and zips up the other side. So you got that membrane in the middle where the water can't get through the zippers to get your torso wet, and you stay pretty dry. And trust me, this year on Monsters Over Mountains, I fucking put it to the test, and it fucking worked.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I think you had Shell, Frankie,
Shell. Yeah, Shell ended up staying. She was hurting from hit a pothole and really foobarred her back up somewhere, I think, on the Alaskan Highway. But yeah, Wrong Way came, but he lasted like 40 miles. No, not even that. About like 25. He turned around. I'm tired of riding in the rain. Okay, that's I get it. You've been on the road for weeks at that point, and
and you can't even be mad at those three.
No,
if they're like, I'm tired of riding in the rain. They rode through a hurricane.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then Frankie Mountains, he ended up having to bail because he totally spaced it that was his wife's birthday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I kept telling him we got close to Yakima. We stopped somewhere to actually, first time ever on this, where we actually stopped somewhere to eat because we just wanted to dry out a little bit, go inside. He's like, I'm in trouble. I'm like, what do you mean, Frank? He's like, I forgot it's my wife's birthday. I'm like, dude, you need to go home. I'm going to finish this. We left Yakima. We were, I don't know, 150 miles south of there. And he calls me on the comms. He's like, I got to turn around and go home. I'm like, you're a smart man, Frank. I totally get it. Go home and make amends. I said, no worries. I wanted to finish this. And I know, but that's important, Frank.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of time to do that ride. Especially he was gone, what, 3 weeks at that point?
Yeah.
3.5 weeks.
Yeah, I think it
So,
was like 20, 22 days, 23 days, I think I remember him saying.
yeah. But,
Yeah,
yeah, that was,
Loco came up, but I know, I mean, he had already told me his plan. They were going to ride, that Saturday. And once we got close to Oregon, they were going to just go home, but they ended up leaving a little earlier because his wife, she was soaked and
yeah,
just from all the rain. Another guy that came from Oregon, he wasn't prepared for it. So, he ended up bailing, and it ended up being me and buddy Steve Weber and Maurice Jester. We finished it, and I think it was Frank or Mike looked at me. He's like, you gonna call it? Because we were 7 hours into it. I mean, just soaked. I'm like, as much as I just want to say I'm going home, I said, to me, you get that thought in the back of your head. It's like the boys don't get they don't get a do over or a reset on a bad day. It's like, nah, man, I'm not quitting. I'm gonna stick it out, even though this sucks. But
yeah.
I'm gonna set out to finish what I planned, and we kept going.
Oh, yeah. And and all the
And day
boys,
two was a lot drier.
yeah. But, the boys, and even though they're young, they still see the post about stuff like that, and they really do appreciate it. And getting to hang out with those guys, it's awesome. Um,
Especially when you get to know them more on a personal level, and you've got to meet them and interact with them and see the stuff that they go through. And it's like, you take that, it's like, this is just one bad day. It's like, yeah, it's not fun at all. It sucks, but you know what? You get to suck it up and you keep going. And that's just, I don't know. That's how I looked at it. And that was
yeah,
my train of thought. But that's just me. Everybody else, hey, everybody has their own opinions and situations of what's going on. But for me, it's like I'm gonna keep going. So I
yeah.
did. You embrace
Dylan
the
said it
suck.
best. Dylan says it best. We never remember the easy rides. Uh, the ones, what is it? The ones that suck don't really suck. They suck in the
Yeah.
moment. You're going through it, and I was like, man, this sucks. But then, you get done with it, and you're, 2, 3 years later, you're, hey man, you remember that time?
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember the water. I mean, raining so hard it's coming down the inside of my visor in my helmet.
Yeah,
I'm like, Jesus. You're soaked from the waist down, but oh well.
yeah,
Day two was dry. It was a cold night sleeping that night, and we're at Brothers, Oregon, about 30 miles from Bend. Pulled over to a little rest stop, throw the fucking beds on a picnic table, like 40 degrees when we went to sleep. Slept for a couple hours, got up. It's like, dude, we got down to Bend, and it's like, dude, I need some coffee. It's like 5 in the morning. Dutch Brothers always makes, they pretty reliable for having good coffee. I think we just found a bad one, or Barista was having a bad day. It's like, I think I took 3 sips of that coffee going down the road. It's like, fuck, this shit ain't gonna cut it. Oh, it was so bad. Oh, it was
yeah.
horrible. But
Well, you
oh
can't go
well.
wrong with stubborn goat coffee.
Right. But when you're on the road, you got to take what you can get. And so we
Oh,
tried Dutch
absolutely.
Brothers and just wasn't that good that day.
Yep. Uh, what else was it?
I don't know. You tell me what you got.
Gosh.
Brain fart.
Yep, it is. But yeah, I'm hoping to put a couple more miles on than I did this year. Um, I'm not going to end the year where I wanted to, but I had a bike change in the middle, so kind of threw a wrench in the plans. But next year, I got quite a few rides that we're planning. Um,
Nice.
I want to go hit the pig trail in Arkansas. Got the taco run in April, as always. And then this in 25, my club's nationals is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to take, once you get into the long distance, you never take the most direct route.
Right.
So might go up, hit. We definitely want to hit Tail of the Dragon and go to the Wheels Through Time Museum.
Yeah.
But depending on how adulting is looking, we might go shoot up into Ohio and hit the Triple Nickel while we're there as well.
Hey, that'd be cool. Or you take an extra week. You take the Sears detour up through Washington, man. It's great places. I'll show you around.
Oh yeah. But doing the tour of honor as always. And then I know Riot's got the geocaching adventure this year. That
looks pretty cool.
He announced, so that looks fun. Going out to find the gold challenge coins that he has hidden in his quest for 100,000 miles.
He's pretty dang close to it too.
Dude, he is. And
I think last update I saw was like 96,000.
Yep. The picture.
I think that might have been like a week ago.
Yeah, the picture with the cop.
Yeah.
I know they're in Florida, or might be leaving Florida. They were down there for
Paco's Memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, other than that, man, it's just trying to get out on these back roads and see what we can't see on the interstate.
Best way to go, man.
Because you miss so much. You miss so much on the interstate.
That is absolutely the truth.
So I do want to get back up there into the Pacific Northwest, and I'd like to spend a week just traipsing around up there. I think the one state up in that area I haven't hit is Montana.
Yeah, Montana's beautiful. Especially when you go through central Montana. That is, God, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and then
Amy and I did that coming back from Sturgis. We headed up through Great Falls, and it was like 200 we took. And man, to me, that'd be like a landscape photographer's dream from Great Falls to Missoula on 200. Was just, God, it was amazing.
Yeah, and Sturgis pre or post rally, once all the tourists leave is
pre-rally, man. Hit that like late June, early July. I mean, you still got bikes in there because it's just it's a great destination. But yeah, if you want to see the place and see the sights, definitely, I think pre-rally is a better time. Yeah, late August, man. You never know what Mother Nature throws in some curveballs up in that area.
Oh yeah, but so going back to the color on my bike, the pearl sand and the brown. Before I bought that bike, we never seen that color. Like, may have seen it once, but don't remember it. But we went to Galveston for the Lone Star Rally, and we saw at least 4 or 5 different ones of the same color.
It's funny how when you get something like that, it's like, man, I've never really seen this color. You get one, and then all of a sudden, you really start noticing. It's like, shit.
I thought I was doing something.
Yeah, unlike me, vivid black. There ain't nothing, no vivid black road glides around. Shit.
No, they don't even make a vivid black color with Harley.
Nah. AKA Me Too bike.
Yeah. But Galveston was fun. It was a little different. I'm not really the motorcycle rally I'm not that type of rally kind of guy. That doesn't excite me. I do want to get into the like hops rally.
Yeah, I want to get into some of those and try my hand at some of that. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
But life happens. So every year about that time, something comes up and I can't make it. So I have to live vicariously through Facebook.
Yeah.
And the spot wallas.
Yeah, those can get addicting.
Oh man, like Hoka Hay this year.
Oh yeah.
Having ridden the Hoka Hay and then watching it, it's a totally different ball game.
Oh, no, I mean, with Hop and Solo, you got to give them mad props for the everyday commentary. I mean, going live multiple times a day, explaining things, following stuff, and dude, their commentary during that event was spot on. It was just freaking awesome to join in and just listen. And they're watching trackers, and you get somebody with Solo that's seen America. I mean, the guy's ridden and rides, and he knows the areas where all these people are. So listen to him, explaining things about because he's familiar with all these areas because he's been there. And it was a lot of fun watching his podcast. I mean, every day those guys are live on Facebook and doing everything he was doing, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Oh yeah, and educational, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, I watched it the first time. I watched it in 20, and when I watched it in 20, the only people I really knew from the Hoka Hay that were in the Hoka Hay that I really knew was Solo and Reef. So starting out, I was glued to Solo's tracker. I was, glued to Reef's tracker. And then, I started watching Fede. I started watching Hop, Riot, Diesel, started watching all the front runners. And then got to meet a lot of them. And
the Asphalt 5.
Yeah, the Asphalt 5, they're just beasts. I mean,
yeah.
But getting to see them, and then riding in 22 and then not being able, to do it this year, watching everybody in the Hoka Hay, even there's one female rider this year, 1162 Jamaica. She's from here in Killeen. Leading up to this year's Hoka Hay, she was asking questions like, what worked for you? We tried to give her the best I could do. I said, hey, this is what worked for me. It might not work for you. And she's like, well, what'd you do with your directions? And I gave her my clipboard I used for the ram mount. And I said, hey, if it works, use it. If you don't, hey, you hit a gas station and you don't want to carry it with you, just throw it out. It's a cheap clipboard. And it ended up not working for her, but she kept it. And, she returned it. And I was like, all right. But, sitting there watching everybody, and I was like, man, this is nerve-wracking. You go to sleep, you're checking the tracker. You wake up, you're checking the tracker. The first couple of days, it was nerve-wracking knowing everybody's riding through a hurricane, and you're seeing videos and pictures of it. And, dude, it was nerve-wracking.
Well, yeah, we got Tom Mountain goes, I remember young Sparkz and myself stopping in a rest area using a hand dryer to warm up and dry off going out to El Paso, and said Miles make memories. Man, Tom, I need to get a hold of you. I would love to hear your stories and do a Milepost with you and hear some of these adventures.
So I will tell you about that one. That's my club brother and my best friend. Actually, I got 2 pictures of me and him on the wall up there. But
well, good, you're gonna have to hook us up then.
Yeah. So he had an R1. And we had to do a motor swap. He's a truck driver. So he goes, "Hey man, can you swap the motor out?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess. I ain't never worked on a sport bike." I said, "But with YouTube University and people I know, I got lifelines. I can figure it out." So the week before our El Paso chapter anniversary, I'm thrashing on the bike in the garage. I'm trying to get it done. We're leaving out Saturday morning. So we finished it like 1, 2 o'clock Saturday morning. We finished fixing the bike. Catch a couple hours of sleep. Didn't test the bike. We just made sure it started. And we're like, all right, this is good enough. And his wife was following us in a Nissan Altima. So if things were to go bad, we were in big trouble. And so we get on I-10, and it's September, October timeframe. And we got caught in the rain, and it's cold. And we stopped at a rest area on I-10 because, once you get out past San Antonio, gas stops are few and far between. But we were so cold, we're both huddled underneath the hand dryers trying to warm up. And then, so we finally get to El Paso. We link up with the club. We go back to the hotel. And we were good until we stopped moving. Once we stopped moving, we both passed out. Well, we all passed out. Everybody's calling our phone like, "Hey, where you at? Where you at?" We wake up the next morning, completely missed the anniversary party, everything. Woke up the next morning, the hotel room doors open. Our wallets are on the dresser right inside the door. And we just woke up, look at the time, we're like, "Man, we missed the party. It's a good time, huh?" Yep. So, and then, but the bike made it down there fine. Coming back, the stator went out. So every time we stopped, we had to jump the bike off, or it was going out. So every time we stopped, we had to jump the bike. But it made it back, no problems. Replaced the stator, and yeah, it was. We definitely have some good stories from the road. Me and him.
Hey, sometimes those are good, It's like I said, miles make the best memories, and it's 100%. Even the bad days, at the moments where, you're having mechanical issues, whatnot going on, at the moment it sucks, but, whether it's 3 days later, a week later, you look back and you just laugh. And I mean, I've had that myself, lost a regulator 300 freaking miles from home, but, buddy took off for another 200 miles, got the parts, came back, fixed it on the road, and we kept going. Does it suck? Yeah, but at least, later it's like you can laugh about it. And,
Oh yeah.
For me, I carry a decent, little toolkit. I probably carry more than I need in my bike, but it's just one of those things where you feel naked without it. And I don't like traveling without certain shit. On the roadglide, I got the nice socket set always comes with me. I got my small tool bag. I always, I keep an extra bottle of oil. I got primary fluid. I got some tranny fluid, and basically like a toolkit with other stuff makes up one saddlebag. But, I got my Lexan P5 tire pump and some other deals, but do I need them? Rarely have I needed it, but whether it's for me or if I can help somebody else,
Yeah.
then, that's why. And I just always carry it with me.
Or it's that one time you don't have it in your bike that you need it and you're in a bad spot.
Yep.
But when I came back from Michigan on the Dyna and I took it in to actually get a front tire because I hit a pothole in, I think it was, I want to say Arkansas. It's either Arkansas or Missouri, but I still had a ways to go. But it snapped the band inside the tire, so it warped real bad. So I had a front end hop. So I get back, and the next weekend, his daughter was getting married in Dayton, Ohio. So I was going to do another saddle sore up there for the wedding. Get up there Friday night, come back Sunday. And my mechanic, he was like, "Hey man, this bike's not going to make it might not even make it from my shop to your house." He was like, "I don't suggest you trying to ride it to Ohio." So I called him in frustration. He was like, "Hey man, I'm riding with the wife up there in the car because we got all the wedding stuff." I was like, "Okay, cool." He was like, "Just take my bike and when you get up here Saturday morning, we just got to take it to the dealership, get it serviced." I was like, "Okay." So he's got a roadglide, just a roadglide special, and so that was my first long distance, truly like long distance ride on a bigger bike with a bigger gas tank. And if you look at my spot Walla for Michigan and then the one for Ohio, the gas stops are significantly less going to Ohio because I didn't have to, leaving Texas for me on the Dyna, it was 2 gas stops, and then the east side of Texarkana, I had to stop and get gas again. I stopped once in Texas for gas, and I was almost out of Texas. And then I think I stopped once in Arkansas. But it was a huge difference. And I wasn't even riding, on the Dyna, I was riding till the tank was empty. And then I go to the bathroom. On the road glide, I'm riding till I have to pee. And then since I'm stopping to pee, I might as well fill up.
Right. Yeah, I mean
So,
that larger tank, more fuel does definitely makes a difference.
but I had my body trained, my say trained, but I had my body trained that when I stopped for gas, I was stopping to use the bathroom. And I had to. I'm still unlearning it a little bit, but I got to get used to the bigger tank so that I can put down more miles between gas stops. So
Yeah. That's the other thing I carry is my little fuel reserve bottles, and I've had to use them a few times. And you push it too far, and I can get to the next one, or you got a gas station that doesn't have the right fuel. Like shit. Oh well.
yeah, I have that fuel the red plastic fuel can that fits in the back of the saddlebag that's cut for the
Yeah.
angle of the saddlebag. Which is
Yeah, I
nice.
have two 1 liter bottles that I carry, fuel bottles.
I could fit that fuel can in the Dyna, but you had to shove it in there. You had to shoehorn it in there. But with the new bike, man, it just slides down in there. It don't move side to side. It doesn't move a lot.
Yeah, it's made to fit those. It's made for the true beggar.
So, but yeah. But yeah, and then got a couple saddle sores planned for this year. I want to knock out a couple in states. I want to do the Texas saddle sore 1000. But I think this year I'm gonna do like all my big rides. I want to do all the monster certificates. See if I can rack some of those up and get up there in the league with old Frankie Mountains and Wrong Way.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, Frankie Mountains, he's a freaking animal. I mean, I remember seeing pictures. He's up at places, his face is frozen. There's icicles hanging off his bike as he's out riding at 4 a.m, getting the hog chapter coins and stops.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Yeah,
But then, the other thing is he's also got the heated gear, and I haven't pulled that plug yet.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I have the heated grips. So, those are definitely a game changer.
I bet they are.
Um, but yeah, I want to, watching Frankie Mountains and Wrong Way, man, what they're doing out there is, they're killing it on the monster miles. You know, um, I think Frankie's done all the honor roll weeks and the loco days.
Yeah.
Just and they do awesome certificates.
Oh, they are. I did get, I did one of the honor roll weeks actually submitted. I did a couple of them, but I didn't submit only one of them.
Yeah, the big thing for me is remembering to record the rides.
Yeah, I have that problem too.
There'll be times you set out and you're like, you get moving, and then by the end of the day you're like, dude, I forgot all these gas receipts. And then you look down and you're like, dude, I did 1,100 miles and I forgot all the receipts. Well, that was a waste.
Yeah, I keep wanting to, for some of those, like I want to make myself a sticker. They'll go right there. Turn on Rever.
Yep.
And Spot Walla.
Spot Walla. And when I went to Michigan this year, that was the first time I played with Spot Walla. And man, it makes it so much easier. And I just use the Bubbler app on my phone to do it, but it's so easy. Once you get it figured out, it's easy to do. But getting it figured out is the hard part at first.
It can be a little tricky, but once you learn it, it's not bad. Yeah. I don't use Bubbler. I can't remember which SW Tracker. That's the one for iPhone. That's it. Which even the guy that developed it, he's got a nice little tutorial, a couple of them on YouTube to really help you understand, so you know what you're doing. But yeah, once you figure it out, no, it's nice. Plus with Amy likes to. I'll turn it on, send her the link so she can follow, know where I'm at and everything's all right. And she can follow along too, which it's nice. So gives her extra peace of mind too that everything's good. We're still cruising and going.
Yeah, and that's like what is it? Life 360.
Yeah.
We have that. So my wife's always, if I'm on the bike, she always knows. And then it's also got the crash notification on it. So if you make an abrupt stop or worse, the bad thing is if your phone falls off your bike, you're gonna worry a lot of people that get notified if you're in a wreck because your phone wrecked. You didn't wreck, but your phone wrecked. But it gives them the peace of mind.
Here's a good one for you. Years ago, when I used to work out west here in Washington, a prison, I was riding back with a buddy of mine. He's on his ultra limited, and this back, the land of flip phones. And we're flying down the freaking highway, 65-ish, 70, whatever. And I see his left arm. It's going out and back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And I get up next to him. Well, his phone had came out of the phone mount, but it was plugged in the charger cord, and the charger cord was so snug, the phone was bouncing off the asphalt coming back up, or off the concrete from the highway. And he was trying to catch it. Then finally, after about 4 times, he caught it. Dude, still worked, but man, that phone was road rash and like a cheese grater, and it was brutal. But somehow that thing stayed plugged in and kept bouncing off the fucking concrete of the highway.
Hey, if phones bounce off the highway nowadays like that, there's no coming back.
No,
they're not built like they were used to. Like the old Nextels, you could run them over with a semi and they'd still work.
I will say years ago, my wife ran over, God, it was an LG whatever brand smartphone. She ran it over with her Yukon. I mean, that thing was 6,500 pounds. Yeah. And that phone still worked. It shattered the back of it, but the phone still worked. It was good, amazingly. I don't know how, but it's like, holy shit. She forgot it sitting on the bumper doing one thing and goes to back up. It fell off and ran over it, but damn thing survived.
Oh, yeah. They're not building them like they used to.
Yeah. This is true. So, Well, shit,
You know,
buddy. Thanks for coming and hanging out tonight. And these kind of ones are always fun. It's like it's just hanging out, just catching up,
just
having a
figuring it
wobbly
out as
pop or
we
two,
go.
and yeah, you just wing it.
You know,
It's like a
that's
jam session, you know.
hey, that's the best thing. Um, but I do want to, before we get off, I do want to give a shout out to old Mr. Hyde, for being the true badass that he is, finally
Fucking no
completing
shit.
the Hoka Hay, third time's the charm on that 1948 Panhead, man.
That was freaking amazing. Actually, so hold on one second. So Tom Allen came up to South Dakota with you for the Hoka Hay in 22.
Yes, he dropped me off.
Oh, so he wasn't there the day where. It's funny because I was there that Saturday too, which is pretty funny. That was all because of Craig Johnson. You ought to come over here. He's like, dude, you've had all these guys on your podcast. You know who they are. It's like, just come on over for the day.
Yeah, so he dropped me off. He came up, dropped me off, and then I think he left Saturday morning. We went to the veteran cemetery right there, right outside of Rapid City, where Jim Red Cloud is buried. And so
In
when I
which
went to
Amy and I and Setzer and all them, we stayed. Well, no, Jason wasn't there. No, he was there. Yeah, because we stayed right next door to it at the No Name Campground RV Park in Rapid City, which is right next door. You take the same exit if you go to that national cemetery.
yeah,
That's where we all stayed when we came over there for that weekend.
yeah, so he dropped me off, and then he actually went home with a lot more stuff than he showed up there with, because everybody's like, man, you're not gonna need this, you're not gonna need this. So I ended up sending a lot of stuff back with him, like, yeah, I'm not gonna need this. Hey man, take this back for me. Trying to lighten the load.
He's not upset about the needles at all.
Oh man, so before, like, we rode up Friday after I got checked in, we went up to Mount Rushmore, and he was like, hey, let's go do needles. And I was like, well, let's see about tomorrow. And then we ended up not doing needles. And then the last part of the Hoka Hay coming down into Hot Springs, we had to go through needles. And shit, it was midnight. And I called him and I said, hey man, I said, don't be mad, but I got to go through Needles Highway. I was like, don't be mad at me. If you tell me not to go, I'll just not get my finisher status, and I'll skip Needles. He was like, no, go ahead. So he gives me shit every time about Needles.
Well, okay, so here's a funny one. Sunday, my wife, because her girlfriend Jody came with her, and they were sightseeing. Like me and Hayden and old Mike Pickering and Jason and his brother Nick. We were all over there. Rest in peace, Nick. He's since passed. We're going through the Needles, and I get a text from my wife that her and Jody were going to come up and go through Needles in the car. And my wife Amy doesn't do heights at all. Some of the drop-offs they have up there, I'm like, oh fuck, there's no way. And I'm on the comms with Hayden. He's like, dude, you got to get a hold of mom. I'm like, I got no fucking service. And finally, it's like phone clicks up enough bars, get a text. I pull over to the side of the road and trying to text my wife. It's like, you don't want to come up here because it'll be bad. And I pull over. Jason goes by me. Well, once I send the text, we start going again. Jason's coming back up the road, has to flip another UE. And yeah, it was comical. It was like, there's no way my wife could do needles. And I'm trying to get a hold of her, say, no, fuck, you don't want to come up here because, she'd have a panic attack. And like, but yeah, needles, the wholesome memories.
Oh yeah. And needles at midnight is different.
I could imagine.
I only know Needles at midnight right now. But dude, I think I was on the bike 20 hours at that point. So, I'm so close to the finish line. I'm pushing through it, and I was hallucinating. Like, rocks were, they were turning into dragons, and just random things, and they were alive. Trees were trying to eat me. And, but, at that point, I was so close. I was like, you know what? Just send it. We're going to throw it against the wall, see what sticks. And, yeah, it was definitely an experience riding that tired. Because you're on the bike.
We're definitely going to have to do it sometime at daylight because it's pretty freaking cool. And then you hit Iron Mountain Road while you're there.
Yeah. So, but we did hit Iron Mountain Road, part of it, because we went to Mount Rushmore. I can't remember all of it. It's still, even to this day, all of that's still a blur.
Iron Mountain Road's awesome. I still got the sign here behind me. So you got, yeah. See if I can make my microphone doesn't want to go turn around for me where I could tell you. It keeps unplugging, I think. But yeah, you got 17 miles, 314 curves, 14 switchbacks, 3 pigtails, 3 tunnels, 2 splits, and 4 presidents because you got a pull off where you can see Mount Rushmore. Yeah, you get all 4 presidents, and it's a pretty fucking epic ride. Those are some steep ass corners, or not steep, I should say, but sharp, and steep. I mean, they're first gear 10 miles an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, just like it, doing the Hoka changes the way you want to ride, just to see America on the back roads.
Oh, for sure, I bet.
On the bucket list, I want to do Route 66 start to finish. Just go see. I know the tunnel of trees in Michigan is an awesome ride just for the scenery.
What's the massive bridge up there? The Mackinac?
The Mackinac Bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, I've ridden across that on a motorcycle once, and it was not fun. It's a graded bridge, and there's a lot of wind.
Oh, yeah. We got a couple of those in Washington.
So, but yeah, there's just so much to see and do once you get off the interstate. The interstate's, if you got to get somewhere quick, the interstate's great. But, if you got the time, go ahead and grab them back roads and see what there is to see.
That's what I always preach, man. See America, take the back road, and I mean, granted, I understand there are times where people, you don't have the time because you got to get A to B to quick, but man, if you can, get on the side highways, find the mom and pop places, find America, and just enjoy the travels.
Oh yeah. And, one thing that I want to work on is taking more pictures.
I'm right there with you 100% because I am horrible about it.
But I started to master the Chris Hopper U-turn to get pictures. I posted one right after I got the new bike. I was on some back roads, just on a 60-mile ride back to the house, and I saw a cool little old tractor just rotting away in the field, and it was on a 2-lane loose asphalt road. It's just an awesome picture to take. Have the bike there and then the tractor in the background, stuff like that, or find a good barbecue joint. Because you can't find good barbecue on the interstate. You gotta hit the back roads. Find those good barbecue joints.
Solid. Absolutely. So, well, shoot, buddy. Thanks for hanging out tonight, man. It's been fun. It's always good to catch up and hang out, man. We became good friends over the years. It's a lot of fun. We, text messages, occasional phone calls, and just always have a good time.
Oh yeah. Always good catching up, man. And I'll shoot K Solo. I'll text K Solo when we get off here, man, and tell him to hit you up.
Yeah, do it, because like I said, when I got my new phone, I had issues with the cloud, and I lost over 250 contacts. I'll scroll through every now and then. Still, I ain't talked so and so in so long, and fuck, ain't got his number no more. It's like, God damn it, there's another one.
Yep. And that's the beautiful thing about friendships in the biker world, man. We can go 2-3 months and it'll just be random. Boop.
Oh yeah.
Hey. Or, we blow each other TikToks up with random TikToks, that stretch John Deere I sent you this morning.
Oh yeah. Or dude, that Viking table.
Oh man, yeah.
That was cool as shit.
That is a Thanksgiving table right there. That you only need to bring it out at Thanksgiving time.
You better find a crane to move it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, thanks a lot for tonight, buddy. It's been a good time. And like I said, it's always fun to catch up and hang out. And hey, thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight for Milepost 141. And hopefully we'll get 142. I got a few people still waiting to confirm, but there's some good guests coming up in the new year. There's going to be some big announcements coming from guys that I got coming after the first of the year that I'm pretty stoked about. I got some inside scoop this morning, so we'll be letting that cat out of the bag here in a few weeks. But hey, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Remember, ride safe, have fun, enjoy that open road, and